Here with first-year South-Doyle head coach Paul Shelton taking over the Cherokees program as legendary coach Clark Duncan has retired doing grandkid stuff. South-Doyle in the 4A state playoffs, 6-5 a year ago. So how much have you talked to, if at all, Coach Duncan, who is obviously such a big part of the South-Doyle program?
Yeah, Coach Duncan's been awesome in this transition. We've been in constant communication, just handing the thing over. Even past his retirement, June, July, he's been hitting me with texts and just giving me information. He's been an awesome resource for me as I've come into this thing, and obviously he's a good resource just because of how much success he's had.
Yeah, and obviously there was a lot of struggles prior to that, and for him to elevate the program like that, what's that dynamic for you in taking over such a high bar?
Yeah, so I'm taking this job going against everything I've ever said. Like, you never want to follow a legend,
right?
And you can't get more of a legend than Coach Duncan, right? And so, he has set a high bar. The good thing is that the program's in a good place, and luckily I don't have to rebuild the thing. It's just elevating that deal, and I think the thing that I just got to wake up and tell myself every day is, hey, I'm not Coach Duncan. I'm Paul Shelton, and I got to be Paul Shelton, and I got to be cool with that, and I am. I'm comfortable in my skin now that I'm a little bit older in this profession, and so it's been cool. Going to be a challenge, and I just got to be me.
So, from Knoxville, you spent time and coached here as an assistant in the area, went to the college ranks at UC Davis, and now you're back. What did that college experience do to shape you as a head coach now running a high school program?
Yeah, so obviously you learn a ton of football,
yeah.
Special teams, offense, and so, watching film and learning all that stuff, the X's and O's, but honestly, just working for Dan Hawkins and having a mentor like Tim Plow, who's at Boise State now, Paul Creighton, who's at Washington, those guys actually, I changed more in those 4 years as a person. They were unbelievable at just teaching us how to find joy in the moment, treat your kids the right way, and just really like being at peace with who I am as a coach. And because of those guys, it's the reason I'm back here. I didn't want to just keep chasing that college dream over and over. I was perfectly comfortable with being like, hey, I love guys. I love these kids. And I'm able to come back home, be with my family a little bit more. And because of those guys, that's what I learned. I learned to be at peace and be a better mentor more than anything, aside from just the X's and O's.
So what do you like about what you're inheriting? There's obviously plenty of talent that you're inheriting. What stands out to you about what you're taking over here at South-Doyle?
Yeah, so South-Doyle, the greatest thing, and anybody that's been around knows, you're always going to have a good group of athletes.
Right.
The perimeter is always going to be, you're going to have some dudes there. So, more so than any place I've been high school-wise, we're able to stretch the ball vertically and get it out there on the perimeter. So I really like that, and obviously we got some younger groups, even in the middle school, that are going to be really special as well. So love that. I think more than anything that I'm really surprised, these kids are hungry. They love being coached. Like when you tell them something, they grow from it. I've never been a part of a program that grew more from day 1 to day 12. Day 1 of spring practice, man, I was questioning everything. I was like, what in the world have I done? I'm going to be a terrible head coach. And by day 12, my guys, they've really grown. So it was cool to be a part of that. They're hungry, they're athletic, and they're willing to learn.
So what about style of play, philosophy? What will we see? It might look a little different, if at all, at South-Doyle this year.
Yeah, it's probably going to look pretty different. We're going to be aggressive, man, and not to just, we're bringing UC Davis's offense. UC Davis, when I was there from 17 to 19, we led the FCS in total passing yards. We're going to throw the football. We're going to throw the football deep. We're going to go fast. We're going to be no huddle. Defensively, we're going to try to create negative plays. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to know our deficiencies there. We're going to give some deep balls up. We're going to be willing to do that. Special teams, there probably will not be a more aggressive special teams unit in the state. We're going to do some funky stuff, and we're going to be aggressive. And again, we know our deficiencies there, and we know where we're going to give up some things, but we're going to be aggressive. We're going to be fun to watch, and hopefully we can create negative plays and score some points.
Talk about your coaching staff and shaping, because that's obviously, especially when you're taking over a new program, it's so important to have the right guys around you to kind of deliver the same message and teach the game the way you want it.
Yeah, no doubt. We were able to keep 4 from the previous staff, and then I brought in 4 kind of my own guys. You got Brian Milan. He's the defensive coordinator. I think he's one of the best defensive minds in the entire area. I think he does a really good job. And my biggest thing when I was trying to find guys, I wanted to find guys that love kids the right way and we're able to teach. Like, we got to find guys that can teach and communicate the game, because at the end of the day, coaching is just teaching. And so we've got some good communicators, some guys that can build good relationships, and I could not be any more excited about the dynamic and chemistry of our staff right now.
Let me ask you real quick about the 2 guys you brought with you, Tawan Owens in that running back room.
Yeah, so Tawan, obviously Sean Gary's the guy that has been the workhorse in the last couple of years, and before that it's Elijah. And so South-Doyle has had a great history of running backs. I think Tawan brings a little bit more of a power type of dynamic. Like I was saying earlier, though, like Tawan is an extremely smart cat. He can break away and he can be powerful, but he knows pass pro. He can catch the football out of the backfield, and he's a great leader. He's consistent every single day. So I'm excited to watch him work.
And what about Trista Mullins on defense?
Yeah, so it's funny, I brought Tristan. Tristan never says a word. He is the quietest guy on the entire team, but he lets all action speak, man. He's one of the strongest guys we have. He's the Mike linebacker who has to communicate defensively. So when he never talks off the field, but on the field he is barking things. He's the ultimate leader. He's exactly what you'd want when you come in as a new coach, and he's in the senior class. So great tackler, great athlete, really strong, great leader.
So be honest, did you put him in that situation, bringing him here on purpose? Because he's going to have to talk, and as leaders, you got to be in those uncomfortable situations.
Absolutely. I knew I was bringing Trista Mullins from the get-go, because he's got to be that guy, whether he's comfortable with it or not. And he is. He's starting to get comfortable. We joked about it on the way over here. Yeah. So he's quiet, but he's learning what that role looks like and what he's got to do.
Awesome. Super impressed. Look forward to seeing you this year on the radio. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate that. Thanks
All right. That is Paul Shelton, who's the head coach at South-Doyle.